Saying that we are not happy with certain aspects of our personal or professional relationships may be difficult for many people. But if we want to build authentic relationships, this is something that must be done. In the assertive communication context, messages that contain justified negative feedback are known under the label of constructive criticism. Because criticism, when it comes to assertive communication, is not meant to hurt, disempower, or put down the other individual, but to help them grow and improve their skills, and in the end, improve the relationship and the positive mutual effects. This is why we need to learn how to provide constructive feedback, so that our relationships can move forward. So here are some tips on how to do that. First of all, you need to try to make yourself comfortable with the idea of providing negative feedback in the first place. When you do this in an assertive way, you are being authentic. You're not bullying anyone, and others should be able to handle this type of message, especially when it's given with the goal of making things better. So tell yourself that it is okay to express your dislikes about the context or someone's actions. Which brings me to the next tip. Always make sure that you refer to someone's actions, their observable behaviors, not the actual person. Constructive feedback is not about who they are, but what they do and the results of those actions. Constructive criticism is justified criticism. That means it refers to something observable, measurable, and most of all, something that can be improved. If the object of your criticism is not something that can be modified, then that is not justified criticism. It needs to allow development, and fixed traits do not allow that. Criticizing fixed traits is aggressive, not assertive behavior. Carefully choose the context in which you provide constructive feedback. Some messages are only relevant to one person or specific group of individuals, so make sure that you do not turn the moment from something well-intended to a context of public humiliation or embarrassment for the other one. Some trainers recommend a specific structure for messages that fall in the constructive feedback category, but I do not necessarily endorse any specific form of it. However, I do recommend adding a positive aspect to your message, something you observed the other one does well, or a reference to one of the skills they master. This element does help communication and shows that you are also paying attention to the good things and you're not just after mistakes or things that go wrong. Opening your message with positive feedback works best and outlines the context as a supportive one. Be specific. Make your feedback about a specific action or context, not about a general observation. Provide examples of the actions you're referring to. Do not give advice. Constructive feedback is about information, not advice. The other one may ask for your recommendations later on, and then you may agree to provide them. But constructive criticism is just about observed actions and what makes them less than acceptable or satisfying. It's about why they need to be addressed, not how. The other one can choose whether to modify that behavior or not, and if they decide to change it, they themselves can find a way to achieve that. Offering advice you were never asked for is aggressive, not assertive and supportive. When you communicate your constructive feedback, use a calm, balanced tone of your voice. You should be confident and supportive, and that can be done from an aggressive stance. My last tip on the topic of constructive criticism is to use I statements and emphasize the benefits of that specific change. That will convey that your message comes from a good, supportive place and will make the other person more receptive of what you have to say.